guys, the Stormbringer, the brand new wind weapon in question. Is it any good? Is it worth getting? I mean, again, you can go about getting it for free if you choose to, but obviously the biggest takeaway from all of this is that how helpful is it for the Demon King daggers, including the longsword, you know, more for so the DPS wind element, because at the end of the day you can still cater to the Moonshadow daggers, the plum sword and whatnot. So it's just like, is it really worth it? Because technically speaking, after that, obviously water element is going to be getting there a little bit of touch up, and to be completely honest, water pretty much needs all the help. Well, I wouldn't say all the help it can get, because the Grimoire Loki is hard carrying and the pistol isn't exactly that horrible. The dagger itself isn't that bad, but I mean, it's fair to say that with where every other element is at, water does need a little bit of a pickup. So prioritizing that over wind might be beneficial, especially with where wind is at and what you can already cater to in terms of supporting the DPS weapons. Is the Stormbringer truly worth the pickup? Just a quick reminder, you guys, if you guys do want to support your boy, you can do so. I've got double codes. Season 8 is going to be starting very soon. The Essence giveaway will be picked very shortly. We're 2 weeks out until we get the new update, and then from that point on, a lot of you guys should be winning some free Essence on my behalf. I'll pick up the Essence pack for my supporters, because of course it is a supporter giveaway, as well as some of you guys will win the Deluxe Pass for the newest Deluxe Pass releasing for the upcoming update. So yeah, I do appreciate the love and support, and I'll do my best to keep going, and anniversary is next, so yeah, we'll see if we can pick up the pace a little bit for giving back. So with the Stormbringer, pretty much this is kind of where I got at level 7, decided to cap out the skill itself. So as you guys can see, got an A5, bit the bullet, it is what it is. So the beginning passive, sealed power, activated at the start of the stage. When Jinwoo uses Hailstorm, it doesn't trigger the critical hit, but it increases his damage by 120%. Sun Jinwoo's precision decreases by 24%, and then Sun Jinwoo's attack and precision increases by 0.8 per 10 strength, up to 24%. If Sun Jinwoo's strength stat is 300 or more, the effective changes to Awakened Storm. So when Hailstorm is hit, the whirlwind that is created triggers an effect that pulls the enemies in. When Sun Jinwoo uses Hailstorm, he gains super armor for 3 seconds. And on top of that, when Sun Jinwoo uses Hailstorm, it doesn't trigger a critical hit, but increases his damage by 200%. His attack increases by 30%, his precision increases by 5%, and then the attack speed of Stormbringer's basic attack, core attack, and Hailstorm increases significantly, and this is a infinite buff. So realistically, you want to make sure that his strength stat is 300 plus. This would only affect those that are just starting out again the game, I assume. But for the most part, a lot of us should be above this 300 mark. If that is the case, then that is when you want to use this weapon to get the best potential out of it. And again, that's the initial passive. So make sure your strength stat is 300 plus to get Awakened Storm, so that way you can benefit from the 30% 200 damage increase, and then the 5% precision, of course. And on top of that, I will say this does come across as a bit of a heavy sword, so having the attack speed, the core speed and whatnot all kind of getting buffed up infinitely makes a big difference in my personal opinion. So yeah, anyway, catering now to the dupe side of things. So when Hailstorm is activated, it activates Gathering Storm, and this is when the user's wind basic skill hits, it inflicts Storm Strike. And what basically this does, the user deals damage equal to 1600 of the attack of 0.5 seconds. When this effect is active, it triggers Tempest Mark, so it increases wind damage taken by 5%, increases damage taken by 5%, and then the wind damage taken by 5%, of course. This Storm Strike, you can get up to 3200. It's insane. Okay, so that's the first dupe. If you can get it to A1, please do so, because that is a huge incentive. A2, when the user's wind element damage increases by 10%. So this is kind of like catering to everything that you've got. So if you are building like a wind kit for Sun Jinwoo, this is kind of where it's that sweet spot on covering your ruins, your weapons, all that good stuff. So make sure to cater to that. That's also a huge incentive. A3, using Hailstorm decreases the user's damage taken by 50% for 3 seconds, and on top of that you do enhance the increased damage, so that's 10%, and then the wind damage taken by 15%. 20 seconds, this can stack up to 2 times. That's 20% increased damage taken and 30% wind damage taken. This is the sweet spot that a lot of people are deciding to go for, to maximize that stackage and the additional that you can apply with the enhancement of the Tempest Mark. So A3, if you can get there, that's the sweet spot. Okay, and then as per usual, A4 will give you the cooldown decrease, and then A5, whew, Storm Strike, 3200. Jesus Christ. So deals damage equal to 3200 of the user's attack, cooldown 0.5 second. When this effect activates, it triggers a Tempest Mark effect on the target. When this effect activates, Sunjumu recovers 25 of his MP. And with this, does it, oh wait, does it stay the same? Oh, it does stay the same. Oh, I thought it went up. I must be tripping there. Okay, so the Tempest Mark does stay the same. So realistically, it is a Storm Strike that you're really going to be benefiting from, because that 3200 is pretty ridiculous. I'm curious on if this is an error or if they're going to leave it as it is, because I would have thought that the incentive for the Tempest Mark should have been bumped up. Alright, we'll have to keep an eye on that, on what the developers do. I mean, they might just keep it as is, because that's still pretty insane. 20% and then 30%. That's really, that's crazy. So, pretty much the overall take with me using this weapon. I've been comparing it with my Plum Sword, I've been comparing it with my Moon Dagger, and I've been utilizing the Demon Dagger as the main DPS, of course. And as a whole, having that A5, it affects my whole kit. So like, if I do run a wind mono, this is insane with the damage output. But just to kind of put it plainly, I am outdoing more damage from the Moon Shadow when I do pair up the wind element. Keep in mind when it comes to the ruins, especially with the slash. Oh, I forgot what it's called actually. What's it called? Let me head over to the codex. Because of course with the weaponry, I do like to utilize my wind. So yeah, the Wind Shroud. Bro, it's like an easy plus 10 mil I was doing at one point. It was ridiculous. When I would like be on even like 5-6 mil, pop over the Tempest, double stack it, I just get like a bonus 10 mil coming my way. I'm just like, did I just 15 mil this man? Hello, what's going on? So to be completely honest, it is a mid, like a mid investment, because you want to realistically hit at A3. It might be wise, and the best plan of action might be to kind of wait it out to see what's to come next with Water Element, especially with what they've got lined up for pre-anniversary to anniversary. But just to kind of give it to you plainly, you know, in terms of me having it at A5, the damage output is insane in terms of the amount of support it produces for the wind element. Definitely something that you want to maximize and capitalize on, specifically if you want to cater to that wind side. You can still utilize the Plum Sword, which is what I would suggest the most. In like POD and whatnot, you can resort to use the Moon Shadow, of course, because you've got team fights going on in there. Same with Guild and whatnot, right? That's kind of where the Moon Shadow will shine a little bit more, and you can utilize that with the Stormbringer, of course. Not Stormbringer. Jesus Christ. Like any other DPS weapon, of course. So in those situations, you can still cater to those specific dark element weapons. So that's why it's not as a chase weapon, my personal opinion, of course. But it is insane in an overall perspective of how much it helps if you are going and committing for a full wind build. So that is the big incentive for this if you really want to maximize your wind element as a whole. But the weapon is good. The weapon is fantastic. I'm not even going to deny that right now. It's just there's something more we need to prioritize on, being the next element. And we can cater to this weapon as time goes on, maximizing our chances to gaining 2 new weapons, again, rather than getting screwed over and whatnot, whilst in the meantime utilizing the Plum and the Moon Shadow as we are normally with POD, Guild Boss, and just in fights in general, if you're going against Baron, etc., of course. But this is definitely a weapon that you want to put on your list, so that way you are well prepared on your wind element support. 100%. Cater to this in due time. Let it just appear as time goes on. If you really want to chase it, if you're hellbent on chasing it, A3 bare minimum. If you can max it out, enjoy the disgusting amount of wind element damage you can produce. But for free to play, low spenders, maximize your pulls. Don't pull for it. If you've got like 8 tickets laying around in terms of building it for free, then you can do so, because you can only cap out on build 2, so you can utilize it like that in terms of that, because when the new weapon comes around for the water element, you can only build 2 of that. So if you want to maximize your tickets output, then you can go about going by that. But if you are on the bare minimum, I would save for the water element. You're going to need more for the water, because the water right now is bare bone. So that's my thoughts. And the next water weapon is going to be DPS 100%, because we are in due a good DPS water weapon.